because the best consumer is going to be an informed consumer. So with that, I was very solidified once I did my own research and I was able to use and test the power of these oils and other wellness products, because Young Living truly is a full wellness company. And tonight we're going to talk about oils, but we're also going to touch a little bit on some of those other things. And depending on where your market is, we're super excited for those in South Africa, because South Africa has a huge launch that is happening on the 11th. And so we are going to dig a little bit into that as well. So that is me and my story. With that, I am going to go ahead and turn it over to first Lydia E. Can you tell us your story and a little bit about yourself?
You've got it. Hi, everyone. My name is Lydia Epic, and I live in the U.S. as well. We're currently in Memphis, Tennessee, and our journey started with realizing slowly over time, like Dana was mentioning, that unless we're in a place to advocate for our families and to do our research, there's really a world out there that's not as concerned about our health and welfare as we are. So when I was first introduced to oils, it was just something to be able to keep myself and my immune system well as I was teaching. Fast forward to when I was expecting my daughter in 2014, and I was seeing an esthetician at the time. And I was so very excited to tell her that we were expecting our first little one. And her response was, "So glad you told me that, because there's products that I asked for you to use on your face that you need to no longer use because they've been shown to potentially affect negatively your baby," which really struck me, because how is it that something that I'm putting on my face is going to somehow travel to my baby in my womb? And so that really started a conversation between my husband and I of what does this really mean to be as chemical free as possible? What does it mean to avoid different toxins? We already knew about eating healthy. That is something that we've been doing for some time, reading labels. But then taking it to that next level of realizing that what we're putting on our skin, what we're breathing in, what products we're using when we're cleaning, all those different pieces play a role into keeping ourselves well. So that's part of how we got started. And so now it's just a joy to be able to share that information with others who are seeking to learn, and to just have an open mind, recognizing that this is it's a shift, but we just take it baby steps one at a time, and it's totally doable. And so super excited that you're taking out this time to explore the possibilities and to learn more.
Wonderful. Thank you. And then Lydia Riley, can we hear your story?
Yes. And then I'll go right into my 3 products, right? Perfect. My name is Lydia Ojuka Riley, and I always love sharing my Young Living story just because it is really, really unique. The way that I got an introduction to Young Living is because I'm married to the former chief sales officer of Young Living. So I first got introduced to this company as a direct insider, someone that was able to see kind of behind the curtain and kind of see what goes on a corporate level before I even got interested in the products. As the global chief sales officer, because Young Living is a huge company, it's almost $2 billion, I think $2 billion now, and completely global, located all over this world. My husband was on a plane 60-70% of the time. And I just really, really love the company because they have protective, things that help you to be able to protect your relationship, protect your family, and make sure that you can still have a good relationship when you have a spouse working for corporate and working at traveling to that extent. And so I got the opportunity, the benefit, if you want to call it, to be able to travel all over the world to as many of the rallies, conventions, conferences, and incentive trips, really as we could work out for our family, right? Because we have kids too. So I couldn't be on a plane all the time, but certainly we made a very, very distinct effort to go, okay, before we have, before we have a baby, we're planning on having a baby, let's get traveled. Let's go around the world and kind of experience this different kind of life. And if nothing else, to just make sure that our marriage, our family is number one. So I did that. I think all of us would do that. I think we can agree, right? You'd all take that opportunity. I'm not I'm not rare in that instance. And so let me just tell you some of the places I went to. Honduras, I went to Belize on a cruise. I went to Australia on a diamond trip to Darwin and to Sydney. I went to France, all over France, Nice, Marseille, Provence, Paris. I went to London. I went to Prague. I went to Banff on a private jet, a corporate private jet, to see John Mayer play Front Row. It was absolutely incredible. I mean, these experiences honestly made a huge mark on my heart, and not just because, oh, hey, look, I get to travel a lot. To put into context, this was completely new for me. I had not traveled anywhere. I did not even have a passport before all of this happened. I was a single mom for 10 years. And so seeing this really opened up my eyes, and I took it all in. And especially since my husband's busy, he was working, he was not able to be on vacation with me, right? And so for me, I was able to do a few things in order to really, really process and make the most out of this situation. The first thing that I just noted, obviously, was that I could see the world. And I remember thinking how cool it is that the members of this business are able to see the world. They have so many opportunities. Many of these incentive trips, those are by far my favorite kind of trips, by the way. These incentive trips are set up to incentivize the leaders so that everybody's like, I want to earn that. There is an incentive trip coming up next spring to Bora Bora. We're all working on getting to that Bora Bora trip. So seeing the world is a very, very real possibility. It is built into these types of businesses. And I don't know about you, but that is something that lights a fire underneath under me. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I was able to really take in and experience is Seed to Seal. Now, Young Living is the OG, the original gangster as far as essential oils go. It was founded in 1994 here in Utah and has grown into a $2 billion global company. And it's only been able to do that because of Seed to Seal. This is the quality standard that Young Living has. It's their quality commitment, and basically means that when they are choosing seeds, from the process of even choosing seeds to put inside the earth, to cultivate into crops that they're going to then harvest and distill, each one of those steps is done in a specific way to maximize the quality of the end product. Just one of these standards that makes Young Living kind of crazy is, for example, when they're looking for farmland in the first place, that farmland has to be free of pesticides for 50 years. To compare that to the organic produce that you get from the store that's organic. I got some strawberries on my counter that I was going to show you. In order to have that label of just on the strawberries, you only have to be pesticide free for 5 years. So Young Living really goes above and beyond in all of these different small areas. On each of the farms, there is a small greenhouse where, when you're getting close to harvest, they are picking small batches and testing and picking and testing and picking and testing. And they're only going to harvest the crop when we've optimized the level of constituents that they're looking for in that particular crop. That's another little thing that they do. So I just, from an outsider perspective, sort of insider outsider perspective that I was viewing all this, I thought, wow, this is pretty incredible. I'm so specific about how I pick out my celery at the grocery store. Why haven't I been thinking this about essential oils? When you concentrate something down to its most, concentrated constituents, that includes pesticides. So even if you have a little bit of pesticides, it's highly concentrated in the end product, if it's there at all. So I really, really learned about Seed to Seal. There's so much more to share about Seed to Seal, but that is something that I first saw. On the point of these products, I do want to talk about Young Living's sustainability efforts too, because I do think this is a huge part of their Seed to Seal commitment too. It's a commitment to the planet, really. And Young Living has made a 5 for 5 pledge, meaning that they've committed to being zero waste and carbon neutral within 5 years, which I think is an amazing commitment, because again, we only have these products because our Mother Earth is so generous to us. And so we have to make sure that we keep her, as the main priority. So that is the second thing, a seed to seal. I was just so impressed with the commitment of quality for this company. And the third thing that I was able to witness and take in, and it just still kind of blows my mind, is how many people I met, and I'm going to be real specific here, women, how many women I was able to meet who are making so much money. In a lot of cases, they're making more money in 1 month than I have ever earned in an entire year. These are women who are making more money than a lot of the corporate staff were making, a lot of people in high ranking positions. And even if you do have, that great kind of income coming in, you're totally happy with what you're making, it's really the time freedom that the kind of revenue that you can get from a business like Young Living gives you. It's both the abundance of time and the abundance of finances that you really can build in a way that I had never really seen before. This is the first experience that I had where I went, oh, okay, so these types of businesses really, really work. And that has to do with geometric progression. It has to do with the way that the compensation plan works. And we won't go specifically into compensation plan right now. Whoever invited you to this call, have them go show you the income disclosure statement and talk to you a little bit about the compensation plan, because it's really very possible for most people. I know my own enroller is at the highest level of the company, and she got her starter kit and got started on her journey 6 years ago. 6 years ago, at the top level of the company. For those of you who are brand new, just taking a look into this business for the first time, I mean, you're definitely making 6 figures a month, 6 figures a month, multiple 6 figures in a lot of cases. So, but what that did for me, even if at that point I couldn't really even imagine, an income of multiple 6 figures a month, right? Like if you're looking at $100,000 a month, 6 figures a month at the very bottom, at least for me, I was able to go, well, even if it's just 1,000, 5,000, even if it's just 5 figures a month, is that something that would change or enhance or influence my life quality at all? 100%. I am by trade, I'm a real estate agent. I'm also a blogger and an influencer, and it's really all about the multiple streams of income. And I think particularly that's why I got into real estate investing, and just the way that this business works, you can really, I looked at a couple different statements and go, okay, well, if I hit this 5th rank here, that is equivalent to, it's equivalent to, my mortgage payment and the profit that I get off of this rental income, right? So I think that's a really, really important way that, you can kind of take a look at this as an opportunity to build a side revenue income that is just one of several plans for yourself to be able to live the abundant life that you want. So I will then, because that's the end of my Young Living story. So I will now go into some of my favorite products. In this class today, we're just going to highlight mostly essential oils. Young Living is particularly known for their essential oils, but there are so many other products that this company has. There's over 300 different products. And so, and there's a lot of ways to get started with starter kits that are more than just essential oil starter kits. So we're just going to highlight our favorite products. So my number one favorite product, this is my gateway oil. This is lavender. Okay. Lavender is known as the Swiss Army knife of oils. You can use it for everything, which is why if there's ever a problem, just throw a little lavender on it. I throw lavender all over my life sometimes when it's a hot mess, but primarily this is a calming and relaxing oil. If you need help sleeping, have any insomnia issues, if you've got stress, anxiety, then this is the oil that you need to apply to you. Lydia Epic, I'm going to have you, I love the way you talk about the limbic system. So I hope that you're going to be prepared to just give a little blurb about that. You're phenomenal at talking about that. The next thing is the fungal benefits. If you've got a fungal infection, if you need allergy support, mood, eczeema, topical issues, your hair, this is lavender. Lavender is best for all of those things. The next oil that I love so much right now is cedarwood. Cedarwood's in an orange bottle too, but this isn't cedarwood. I grabbed the wrong one. But I'm having a love affair with cedarwood right now. And I didn't know why initially. And then I found out that cedarwood actually has the highest amount of a molecule called sesquiterpenes. Now, all essential oils have terpenes in it. Sesquiterpenes, I wrote a little note in here. They can deliver oxygen to cells and they can erase and deprogram miswritten DNA. This cheap little oil here, it's like $10, $11, has the highest amount of sesquiterpenes in it. It's really such an effective oil for sleep, for mood issues, for anxiety, if you've got depression issues that you're dealing with. This oil is powerful. It's also great as an inflammatory, so you can put it topically on your scalp, throughout your hair, on your skin. It's great for rashes, for any kind of skin inflammatory issues. The third oil that I love so much is this one. It is called Thieves. Thieves is probably the highest duplicated oil. It's copied the most. This is your immunity oil. There is a legend, and there's so many versions of this story. This is just the root of it, where 4 18th century thieves would apply an herbal mix all over themselves before they would go rob the grave of dead people or dying people. Okay, so when they were captured, they were given a lower sentence in exchange for this recipe. Okay, so Thieves has clove, lemon, cinnamon bark, eucalyptus, and rosemary in it. All of those, each independently, are phenomenal for your immune system, but when you blend them all together, it is incredible. It smells like Christmas, which I think is the reason why Thieves is the oil that's used in so many of the Young Living household cleaning products. It's the only, the Thieves household cleaner is the only cleaner that I use throughout my whole house. There's a Thieves spray. You know, during this time where we're all worried about our immune system, I have this in my purse and I take it all over the place. Recently at convention, they released a Thieves vapor rub, which can replace that toxic vapor rub that's used in, you know, for everybody that has a cold or your kids are sick, and you rub it all over your chest, completely toxin free and powered by the benefits of all of those essential oils. I also wanted to briefly talk about the CBD oil that is now carried through Young Living, and actually you can get a starter kit with CBD oil. Now listen, because I'm a special insider. I actually got to try this CBD all through my pregnancy before Young Living had released it. And there's not a day that I did not use this CBD oil. With my, you know, back, hip, neck pain that I was experiencing, this CBD oil came in so handy, and I am so loyal and so committed to it. I still use it every day today. CBD stands for cannabidiol. I am just briefly, I mean, I think what we're finding out about CBD is that it's really showing to be beneficial in so many different ways, whether it's physical discomfort, physical pain, anxiety, depression, other mood disorders. It's even being shown to have effect on cancer, you know, cancer-related symptoms. You could use it for something as simple as acne. And it's also really neuroprotective as well. I am just still discovering CBD. There is a whole world to discover depending on what it is that you're dealing with specifically. But there's 3 different kinds of CBD that's out there. There's full spectrum, broad spectrum, and then there's CBD isolate. Young Living uses CBD isolate because it's the most safe way to use cannabidiol with no THC whatsoever. However, there are benefits from having a full spectrum. So when you do an isolate, it benefits you to combine it with essential oils, and you get what is called the entourage effect, because the essential oils bring in those terpenes that are being taken away during the isolation process. So check out the CBD as well. Is this Lydia Epic's turn?
I think it is, if that works with y'all. Awesome. All right. So thank you so much, Lydia. First, I love the fact that we have the same name. Thank you so much for that breakdown and review of just the full, again, using the word spectrum of what Young Living carries. And it's really what makes this an incredible company. So it's to the point that for our family, every month we have a curated box of the things that we need for, whether it's for our personal care, so whether it's shampoo or if it's toothpaste. Then we have things that we clean our house with, like Lydia mentioned with thieves. And then we have other items along with oils. It's been really incredible with helping us to be as helpful as possible. So Lydia did mention that with the limbic system, that's a really, really key way of understanding essential oils. So I'll just go over it real quick and then talk about a couple of essential oils that I absolutely love, and then my most favorite application of essential oils in a really fun way. So first, about the limbic system. So the limbic system is a part of your brain that is your emotional center. Okay, so the best way to find it is if you take one finger, put it here at the bridge of your nose, and then take another finger and put it right in front of your earlobe. That is you pointing to the limbic center of your brain. It's the most protected part of your brain. The part of your brain that you typically think with is here. It's your frontal cortex. When you're looking at your 5 senses, that's sight, smell, taste, touch, and hear, when you're looking at those 5 senses, 4 of them are going to travel most quickly to your frontal cortex. It's going to go through and it's going to rationalize it, and then it'll go to emotion. The 1 sense of your 5 that actually goes to that limbic center first before it goes to your rational brain is the sense of smell. It's the reason why, for example, as a realtor, I'm sure you know this, and as anyone who's had a mom or an aunt or someone who loves to cook or loves to bake, you have the smell of chocolate chip cookies in a house when you're trying to sell. It does amazing things. Same thing with apple pie. It's just something about that scent that makes you feel cozy and at home and just helps you to relax. It's the reason why you go to a salon and it'll typically have this really, if they know what they're doing, they're going to have some sort of really pleasant, calming scent that's going to waft through the air. And if you're breathing it in, those scents are going to help with your body. This is the reason why Bath and Body Works and these different candle companies and Glade and all the rest of it do what they do. Here's the difference. The sense of smell comes from anything and everything. When you're dealing with fragrance, however, it is taking an adulterated and chemical synthetic form of scent and using it to do some really not cool things to your body. There's a lot of research that's showing that, 1, the word fragrance is covering thousands of different ingredients that have been shown to be very toxic and damaging to your body, which is no bueno. Second, when you're looking at even products that say that they're essential oil infused, you don't know what it is that they're doing to those essential oils to produce them, hence the importance of seed to seal. As Lydia mentioned, if you're going to have an essential oil, it's not like having one apple, right, an organic apple. It's like taking an entire tree and condensing it down into one bite when you're dealing with an essential oil. So we want to make sure in that concentrated form that we're not dealing with all of the chemicals and yuck, right? So with it in mind, 2 of my absolute faves that are part of most starter kits, if I'm not mistaken. First is Citrus Fresh. Hopefully you can see that well. So what I really enjoy about Citrus Fresh is it's just a really great flavor if you're in a place where you're able to use that internally. If not, I didn't say anything. But it has a really great combination of all the citrus favorites. So think orange, tangerine, grapefruit, lemon. All these are just really happy and fun. So if you need a scent in your home that's just going to help lift spirits if you're having a really tough day, this is a great one to put into the diffuser. I also like to use Citrus Fresh. We talked about some different ways to use them. I like to use this actually as part of our fabric softener. So instead of using those sheets or using, the blue gunk stuff that you would pour in that's just full of all sorts of We're just not doing that. We're going to keep it simple. We're going to keep it clean. And I just use Citrus Fresh with a little bit of distilled white vinegar. I put that in my fabric softener dispenser and takes care of it beautifully. So now I know that the clothing that I'm putting on myself and on my husband and on my children is going to be safe, and it's going to smell wonderful, but it's not going to be a harmful scent. Okay, so Citrus Fresh. Other is peppermint. Peppermint is a really great, bright, refreshing scent. This is another wonderful one to use in the diffuser when you start to hit the middle of the day, right around 2 o'clock, where you're feeling like, oh my goodness, I just need to go. Right? So if you're needing something to help pick you up scent-wise, that's exactly what peppermint does. It contains a chemical called menthol, right? So you probably remember hearing about different things of menthe and menthol. If you are in a place where you're able to use it internally, this is really great. I love to use it in my water if I'm feeling a little bit of a rumbly tummy. I also like to use it when I'm wanting to curb appetite. It does a great job for me on that. So peppermint is super in that way. A fun way to use peppermint, aside from a diffuser, if you've got little critters that tend to run around, sometimes if it rains or there's something going on and for whatever reason they're just attempting to run rampant, or even in your garage, just take a couple drops of peppermint, put it on a cotton ball, and put them behind in different parts and corners of your space. And at least at our house, yeah, they go away. So it's really great stuff. I really enjoy using that one. Then in terms of something that is essential oil infused, again, that's part of what sets Young Living apart. When the company was originally started, when the company was originally started, it was recognizing that having herbs is phenomenal. Having essential oils, also phenomenal. And there's this really great synergistic action that happens when you combine those two. So you'll see a lot of different supplements that Young Living carries, and they're essential oil infused. One of our favorites is Ningxia Red. Okay, so with Ningxia Red, it is a superfoods puree, so it's an antioxidant puree in juice form, and then it also contains some different essential oils like orange, lemon, and tangerine. So you can look up all the really great benefits of those citrus oils. Super great stuff. And just a quick breakdown of what a superfood is and what an antioxidant is. So a superfood is just that, it's a superfood. It has the ability to provide for your body in more than just one direction. It does it all. Okay, it's like the Bo Jackson of your body. So it's going to do all those different pieces, and it's going to help with building up your system. It's going to help with restoring different parts that may be broken down. It's going to just go in and say, hey, I'm here. What do you need me to help with? Okay. Then with the antioxidant portion. So when you think of oxidizing and what that means, think about when you have an apple and you cut that apple open, you let it sit on the table. Given enough time, it's going to start to brown and it's going to start to not look so great, right? Well, that browning process is oxidizing. It means that it's been exposed to oxygen. It's starting to break down the fruit. And in this case, it's breaking down of our cells. And unless there's something there to help to act as an antioxidant to help that process to slow down, or even in some cases to reverse it, you're going to see a deterioration. Our bodies naturally go through oxidation. That's just a natural part of what we deal with. However, being in a very toxic environment, or just being surrounded by toxins, not even intending to be, you live in 2020, welcome, right? So it's things like what's in the air, what's in your water, what's in the foods, even as we're getting things that are as like organic or clean as possible. Stress, if you're around another human, in some cases, if you're not around another human, it's enough that you've been experiencing all those things, and those are going to start to wear your body down. So what I love about Ningxia Red is that it's an antioxidant. So it's going to help to stop that process of things going in a not so happy direction, and in some cases even reverse it. I absolutely love this stuff. I take it every single day. It is an energy booster for me. I give it to my kids as a way for them to have their immune system boosted. We had an incredible winter where we didn't get sick. In fact, it convinced my husband, who did get sick because he wasn't taking this. So now it's part of our daily routine, especially with what's going on. So just know that this is a well-rounded company. It's a well-rounded group where you're finding that information, you're finding those products that are going to help to support you in every single way, emotionally as well as physically.
Love that so much. Aren't these two ladies rock stars? How do I follow with that? Oh my. But that was amazing, amazing. And kind of to piggyback off of the last thing that kind of Lydia said, when it's all of that support, the other huge thing that I think that sometimes we forget about is community. Community is one of the most powerful things, at least for me, that I didn't realize I needed. But when I became a part of the Young Living family, that is what I really, really experienced. And we want that for each and every one of you too as well. So my three oils that I'm going to talk about, the first being my absolute favorite, Valor. So this is an incredible blend. It has camphor in it, black spruce, blue tansy, frankincense, and geranium. So Valor is an incredibly grounding oil. So I am one of those people, my energy, it kind of floats, right? I'm kind of high, right? And so I need to be pulled back to the ground. So most of the time, the things that resonate most in my body to do that is like tree oils and frankincense. Anything that has frankincense, like pretty much is my road dog. So love Valor. It's great for alignment too. So maybe sometimes you feel a little off or a little off balance. This is going to be an incredible blend to have on hand and to use and utilize it. I honestly have multiple bottles of Valor. I probably have out of all my oils, this one I probably have the most bottles just randomly around. I just will order it periodically, not even oh, is it low? It's just because it's such an incredibly powerful blend for me to have. My next go-to is RC. So RC is another incredible blend. All things respiratory. So whether you want to get a deeper workout and get deeper capacity in your lungs, this is going to be an excellent one to rub on your chest and your back. I actually really gravitated to this for my son because as I mentioned in the offset with some of his challenges, this was a great alternative. When he was a baby though, I did not put it on his chest. I put it on the bottom of his feet. I will say for all of you mama bears out there, start slow and work up to see what resonates with your children. With babies, their skin is more permeable than ours. And so it goes into their bloodstream a little bit faster than ours does. So love RC. This is a blend. It has 3 different types of eucalyptus. It has myrtle. Everything, again, when you think respiratory, think RC. This is going to be an incredible blend to have on hand. And then my third and last one I want to talk about is Aroma Ease. So Aroma Ease, or another one that is super similar to this that may come in the kit is Digest. I actually like Aroma Ease a little bit more though because it smells a little more pleasant because it has in it peppermint, spearmint, ginger, cardamom. I love cardamom. I can't even tell you how much I love cardamom, and fennel. So if you think about some of those incredible benefits of those different oils or herbs, all digestion, right? So think digestion. So whether it's a little upset stomach or maybe something going on in that system, this is going to be a great blend to have on hand. You can simply rub it on the stomach, rub it on the bottom of the feet. There's so many different ways that you can use this, and it's very powerful. I love having something like this for my little ones, because even as mamas in our best kept efforts, they're not always going to get the right things in their system, right? So this is going to be an incredible blend to have on hand as well. So with that, Miss Lydia Riley, would you mind closing us out?
So anybody that is on this call who is just interested in trying out the products, that is absolutely a great first step, and just get together with the person that invited you to this call, and then you can get set up with your kit and be off on your way. For anyone else who is on this call specifically for the business opportunity, I want to speak to that just briefly. Guys, the global wellness industry is a $4.75 trillion dollar industry. Am I seeing that correct? $1 trillion industry. And as we know, in current circumstances, that is only growing. If we think about the landscape in the last several months, is there really anything that you value more than your wellness besides, of course, personal relationships and people? I can imagine that people who are really suffering, people who, pardon me, are ventilated, and I don't mean to trigger anyone if you know anybody who is really very sick, but wellness is an enormous industry. It's an enormous opportunity, and we want that for ourselves. We want it for the people that we love. There's no better time right now to take wellness and combine it with your personal influence, with your personal network, and be a bona fide brand ambassador for something that will financially benefit you in a really, really big way. I recommend a book called The 4-Year Career by Richard Bliss Brooke. I know him personally. I've been able to sit down with him several times. But what that talks about basically is just the difference between, if you're being a brand ambassador, I'll use myself as an example because I do some influencing and I do some blogging and stuff on social media. So there might be a company that wants to work with me, wants to get in front of my audience. They provide me a product. I, can basically sell it to my audience and they'll pay me, but they're going to pay me one time for one sale. Okay. And if that person goes along and their whole family, wants to buy whatever it is that I help them, I'm out of luck. I get paid one time for one sale. In Richard Bliss Brooks's book, he talks about something called geometric progression, which is really the magic of making this type of business duplicate for you. Geometric progression means everybody who purchases a product, who loves a wellness product that you recommended for them, has the opportunity as well to share that product. And that can keep going, and it keeps going indefinitely. And that means is that you're compensated indefinitely. It's really a phenomenal opportunity. If you can learn to strategize, if you can learn to use your influence in that way, then it can be really very rewarding because you are benefiting financially as well as helping people live a healthier lifestyle. So that's really very exciting. Get together with the person that invited you to this meeting and they can help you get started either way. Thanks so much for coming. I'll see you guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks again.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Take care. Bye.
Bye.